killing me. So I figured I'd do a... I don't know, I'm kind of fiending to mod Skyrim again, and there's a couple mods I've seen that I want to incorporate, try something a little bit different. Maybe give some people some information on what I've learned so far and what template I use, and explanations that don't seem to be able to be found on any of the YouTube videos I watch and have tried to learn information from. So I am going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to be using finally fixing Skyrim, just quality of life. And then I'm going to... I've been looking up some information, and I know that finally fixing Skyrim contains the Navigator, USMP. I don't know if it contains USMP, so I'm going to add USMP, the unofficial Skyrim Modders patch, which is supposed to help the game, and Reconciliation contains the unofficial Modders patch, but since I'm going to be using finally fixing Skyrim. So anyways, let's get to it. So the first mod we're going to use, and this is under Foundations and Master Files, is of course USSCP. Second mod we're going to use, because finally fixing Skyrim requires it, is the USCCP, which used to be, let's see, no, I'm gonna do unofficial CC, and we're gonna find that. It's a blank picture right here. And yep, download that. And then as always, I'm gonna download Simple Workaround Framework. Simple Workaround Framework. As always, Simple Workaround Framework, just in case I decide to use some of these mods that require it. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to add... The only thing I'm going to add for DLC is the Tale of Blood for now. If I have any room at the end, I'm going to try to augment Skyrim's vanilla, the main world, more than focusing on extra DLC content and all that stuff. So this is what we got so far. And now it's saying, so from what I'm looking at here, USMP. Now the I might actually have to base game, CC content, USSB, USSCP, Navigator, USMP, and all the other ESMs. So I'm going to actually download Finally Fixing Skyrim, and then I'm going to put the USMP after, because I don't know if this works, but the Finally Fixing Skyrim 1 contains the vanilla script micro observations, and this is saying, okay, so that contains vanilla script. The USMP now contains the vanilla script optimizations, which so doesn't Finally Fixing Skyrim. So let me think about this for a second. Navigator, nav mesh fixes. So what do we got here? So we got finally fixing Skyrim. And then that contains the nav mesh fixes. So now I'm going to download USMP. And hopefully that works with... I'm going to need that later. Okay, where is it? There it is. Okay, this is a patch that supposedly makes heavily modded games and modded games more stable. Like I said, it is contained in reconciliation, but I'm not using that this time, so I want to make sure that it's in here. So now I'm going to add my rest of my ESMs, or my autoloads. I don't know what they're really technically, if they're ESMs or not, I'm not sure. I just know that they auto-place themselves up top, so I think they are master files. So what are we putting up? Tale of Blood, I think. Let's go back here. And this is also auto-load. That will auto-load up top. Some of these just auto-load up top, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is a major kind of expansion anyway. So I can see why it's up here. Please tune into my stream. Alright, so now that's downloaded. I also really like this too, so I'm gonna actually download this. It gives some bows, and that also auto loads. Okay, so, and then something that I do, actually I'll leave the performance mods out until I think I need them. And next, so first is master files, foundations. Let me look at my list here. I've got it almost memorized, but I still need to still need to look it up. Let me bump this. Bump. There we go. So we're looking at, and I'll just go over it real quick so everybody knows before you get started modding. Master files. That would be your SSEP or whatever auto loads. Foundations is next. New game mechanics. That's new game mechanics. So most of the stuff that is in Foundations will auto load, or it will tell you that it needs to be put at the top. Then we get into menus and user interface font changes. Next is audio and music. Next is existing quest edits. That would be anything in the game that's already a quest that's added onto, unless the mod otherwise states. After that is purely craftables. After that is existing mechanical changes. Example, character creation overhaul, 360 walk and run, things of that nature. And then next is level progression changes, which is like added perk points. I put slower skill leveling goes there. There you go. And then next is perk overhauls. The next two are perk overhauls and magic additions and overhauls. So basically, if you use an Ordinator, Mysticism, we're going to be using Volcarnator, which I found is like awesome. After that, we're talking about magic additions. No, loot leveled list. Alright, so you should, if anybody's interested in this, you should be writing these down. I don't exactly, it says logical load order tool, but the logical load order I originally was using was a little bit different, and it was causing, on my Series S, was causing frame rate issues and performance issues. And once I changed to this one, which I don't know whether it's the logical load order 2, or because there's a couple of them, but the one of the biggest differences is your XP32 skeleton is way down at the bottom, above armor retextures and stuff like that. And then also your landscapes aren't with your general mesh and textures; they're lower. So anyway, to go on from level progression changes. Oh, we already talked about that. Perk overhauls, magic addition overhauls. Loot level list would be anything that goes into a treasure chest, an NPC, any kind of leveled list that's injected into the game at the beginning of the game, or whenever, shopkeepers' inventories, etc. Items, attributes, and effect changes. So I have this mod that changes potions from being instant to recovering over time. Things of that nature. And then you have existing enemy spawn edits. So I take this as I put my classic skeletons, leveled skeletons in here. Sometimes I put my bandit overhaul where it changes their armor. They put on more armor and stuff like that, which edits their spawn, whatever's on them. I also sometimes put it down near my combat section, but we'll talk about that later. Next is spawn animal retextures. Anything that's a spawn animal that spawns in the game regularly, or a replacer for horses, which I don't use because I have tons of trouble with that. Chicken replacers, cow replacers, dragon reskins, HOTD, dragons, whatever. I also put the skeleton edit, if I'm editing the skeletons of the dragon, above the retextures. Now we're on to let's see here. So it does say after the spawn animal retextures, which is confusing. I don't know if this is a typo or not, but it says item, attribute, and effect changes again. So I don't know why that is. I just usually either put it there or the other place. I'm assuming maybe it has something to do with like items and attributes for animals, or I don't know. I'm not sure, but you can choose to like, and like, I've said before, it's a template. So some mods aren't going to work no matter where you put them, and they're going to clash with other mods, and that's the pain in the ass part of modding. But I've been, for the most part, what I'm doing now will hopefully go together and not have too many problems. I'm not doing anything crazy wild or crazy different than I typically do. Just a couple of changes here and there. So next would be general mesh and texture overhauls. Okay. And we need to talk about that for a second, because some of the mods, like I said, usually follow the mod authors, but I will tell you, with a thing like Divine Cities, Divine Villages, I put them above my general mesh and textures, and then I put my general mesh and textures, and I have no problem, no issues less light flickering. I don't know a whole lot more than I'm still a novice doing this, but it seems to work a whole lot better. And I've never had a problem with Divine Cities besides like light flickering or floating braziers, things like that. But that was when I was putting the mod down in area edits. So I always put at least those, and things like Nordic longhouses, which are replacers for the longhouses I put above my textures. Excuse me. So after general mesh textures overhauls, this is everything. I usually put my buildings right in AIO. I stay away from Skyland because the landscape is included, and I tend to have issues with performance when I use Skyland. So I use right in AIO. I use some other Noble Skyrim for the DLC. You'll see coming up here. And once you get done with the building and the textures and the dungeons and the mountains and all that stuff, you go into, you know, potion bottles and miscellaneous items and furniture. I usually put my furniture overalls, like Skyline furniture, underneath all the building and texture and architecture overhauls. Just it kind of makes sense to put the silverware overhaul before the food overhaul. I don't know. I feel like it just makes it easier for the system to process. I don't really know, but that's the way I do it. After general mesh and textures, you're looking at NPC AI mods, okay? And this is what I do here. So anything that the NPCs do, and a combination of that and immersion, I've had pretty good luck putting all that stuff there. So immersive citizens, I put that there. I put lines expansions from J. Serpa, guard bag checks, guard dialogue overhaul, anything that changes what the NPCs do besides combat, I put in that section. The next one, which I don't typically use because I don't change the followers framework, is existing followers framework. Next one after that is skin, body, mesh, and textures. Okay, so and NPC facial modifications is after that. So this is where you put your whatever your NPCs are going to look like. I use Bella and the Beasts. It's a legit go-to by Base Painter. It's just very reliable. It don't run into the Fruity Pebbles face glitch, anything. And I also use Trey Guardians Fancy Followers, which I've had a whole lot of luck putting that after in the NPC facial modifications, and it not causing any problems. And it changes all the followers and uses your skin and body mesh textures. Anyway, next, weather and atmosphere. This is where you put your weather mod, your atmosphere, and the next one is interior lighting. However, according to Gamer Polly, and I find his stuff really good, he suggests to put your lighting above your weather. So that's kind of what I always do, and it works out great for me. And I think he probably knows way more than what I know, so I'm going to go with what he says. Shout out to Gamer Polly too. He seems like a reputable modder. And interior decorating is next. So if you have something like I don't know, store bells, stuff that goes on the interior, I don't use much of that stuff. And then here's where you change your landscape. So I use HD landscapes typically almost every time. It's great. It looks amazing. And then my flora, my grass goes next, my flora, and anything that I want to change in the game besides my trees, unless they're floral additions. My tree pack that's a tree replacer goes way down at the bottom above my water. Next is landscape fixes for grass mulch, which I never use. Next is single area edits into multiple area exterior edits. Both of those are exterior edits. Multiple area exterior edits, and then brand new spawn. So this is where you add NPC, brand new NPCs or creatures that are added to the game. Next is XP32, Idols and Animations. This is where you put your combat package, your skeletons, your weapons on back, always above your weapons and armor enclosure textures, unless it specifically says so, because one of the mods conflicts with armor files. Then we've got NPC combat AI mechanics. This would be where you put better combat AI. I put my Sekiro blocking, things of that nature go there. And then this is where I tend to maybe put my bandit overhauls. Is also, it says vampire werebeast overhauls. So I'm assuming that, you know, that could carry over to bandits, forsworn, whatever that may be. And so vampire extension framework, giant overhauls that overhaul what the giant's abilities are. This is where I put all that stuff. Next is unique follower mods, like Shirley. Highly recommend Shirley. She's that grandma gamer lady. She's kind of cool. And they made a mod about her. Next is new quest mods, NPC additions with area edits. So if you have a new quest like Echoes of the Vale, let's see, Forgotten Dungeons, things like that nature, I would put there because it comes with area edits, new quests, yada yada yada. It says NPC additions too with area edits. So like Provincial Courier Service, except for I put that in single area edits, and it's just fine there. Next is map mods. This is where I put my water. This is where I put my trees above my water. Trees. Make sure you have the trees with the LOD that matches your game. I believe you can only have one LOD for each category. So whatever trees you're using, that LOD will override all the other LODs in the game. So if they don't match, you're going to have shitty looking trees. You're going to have weird looking shit. It's going to not look so good at all. So, and then the bottom of your load order, which I put dynamic camera, let's see, hide UI I can put down there, blood and script fix, and alternate start, alternate perspective goes there. Realistic conversations, RDO, things of that nature go at the bottom. All right, so let's get to it. I'm sick of explaining that shit. All right, so let's go back to where we're at right now. And we just got done with this is the DLC auto loads to the top, Archer's armaments, and these are foundations. And now let's get into our HUD. We're going to back out and save it. And come back in, and let's decide what we're going to do for the HUD. And the horrible music in the beginning. I mean, I used to like the song, but it's like, shut the hell up, would you? Way loud and overpowering. Just like the UI when you level up. Oh man, the sound's terrible. Alright, so I think that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to, let's see, let's go into TK. No, untarnished. Let's do untarnished. Untarnished UI. That's not what I said. But, jeez, untarnished. Alright, so this is a pretty good combination. What reworked? What is this? They just updated it, I guess. Loading screen, avoid. Loading menu has changed to avoid crash. Change a few things on HUD menu. Wallpaper. Finally, after almost a month and 58 perks to get working, I'm releasing my reworked version of the original mod. Well, I hope this works. Alright, so this changes all the sounds and everything of the interface. Flat, modern style. What? What are you talking about? Oh, okay, so it's supposed to be like Elden Ringish. So first, we're going to download Oblivion interaction items. Oblivion interaction. There's a couple of these that I've used, but the go-to is this if you're not using that other one. I use a separate font to overwrite because I believe that untarnished UI and the stuff that the skin is gonna comes with a font. So I think I'm just gonna use this one right here. I don't know if I want to use that one actually. Hold on. I think we can use this one just fine. Let's try this one. That's one I was using way back. Alright, and then we're gonna use untarnished UI. And I haven't used the reworked version, so I'm hoping that that's gonna work. So in the other one, it talks about the load order for this. So reading the mods and the descriptions is extremely important. There's been so many things that I have missed that I hadn't paid attention to. So we got this mod, now we got the TK's interface overhaul. Okay, so TK's, gotta type it in exactly what it says with the apostrophe. TK's interface, and you can type in TK's enter, I believe, and you'll no, I was right. TK's interface overhaul. Let's see, interface overhaul work. Yep, there we go. So TK's interface overhaul beta is what you want. Okay, and then okay, I don't know why I can't see. I hate the Twitch app. Alright. Now, you can choose a skin that will cover... it'll actually change the menu, I believe, too. So, let's see. Where's the skins? I'm surprised it doesn't come. So, I'm going to go up to TK's mods, and it's going to all be here, okay? So, you can choose whichever one of these that you want. I'm thinking I might go with a Morrowind again. I kind of like the looks of this. It might make the text pretty good size. I don't know if I want to deal with that or not. Sensible flavor. What's this one? I don't know. Whatever. Then you got the Dragon Breaker. That looks pretty basic, right? Morrowind flavor. Alright, let's just do this. And in order to get the font and the system to work, you have to reset the game. So there is going to be a pause here. Alright, and one more mod to add to this if you got a couple bucks to spend is Classic. And this is like I think it's like a Fallout menu. Classic dialogue menu. I highly suggest this. And it also makes it so if you don't have a mod that makes it quicker to skip through conversations. Alright, so this is the order right here. For your UI and interface HUD overhaul complete is your Oblivion interaction items, icons, your untarnished UI, your interface overhaul, and your skin. And if you want the classic dialogue menu, you put that after that. Back out and save it, and then reset the game. Clear out of the game. There's going to be like a pause in the stream here for 2 seconds. I'll be back. As you see, the menu has changed, and the music, but not the font. Be right back. All right, so now as you can see, the whole thing's changed. Music's changed. That ungodly music, and then when you get into the game, your whole inventory is going to be different. So now we go into creations, and we let's see. This might end up being more than a one-part video, because it's going to take a few hours to do this. So next is audio and music changes. Now here's where you determine. All right, so if you're using Dawn Weathers, which is amazing atmospheric mod, you don't have to worry about the sounds in the game, because that takes care of all of it. You don't have to use Sounds of Skyrim. I haven't had much luck with Sounds of Skyrim. Anyway, I used to use it, don't use it anymore. I usually use Dawn Weathers. However, Dawn Weathers is more realistic, and yes, it's great. Amazing thunderstorms, etc. Takes up a lot of performance memory, and Azurite Weathers is pretty good. Gamer Polly has a version that's the Wonders of Azurite Weathers, and that's pretty good. And then I overwrite the Sky with another Sky mod. But I just saw Azurite Weathers 3. I don't know, somebody put together a mod pack for that. So, and it's bright, it's light, it's clear. You can use presets to change the things, and then worry about, you know, other things. I don't know, I think I might, and then you save, you know, 110 megabytes, which is actually quite a bit. Dawn Weathers is like 150 megabytes. So I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I do know that I don't like the base game music. So I'm going to really like Oblivion music. I was actually introduced to the Elder Scrolls series, and Oblivion was the first game I played. Let's see. Oblivion music. Not Bolivian music. Oblivion music. Jeez. I don't believe I said Bolivia. Jesus. Oblivion. Wow. Typos everywhere. So this is another mod that's cool to have. Super small. I would grab that. It reworks all the tavern music when you're in a tavern, the background music. And this is the musical overhaul. Changes the music from Skyrim to Oblivion and Morrowind. In-game, right? So the order that I would have these in is the Oblivion and then this. So not that it wouldn't work, but I want this to overwrite this when I go indoors. And then one more to add to that. This seems to work pretty good. So organic view, or you can type in organic music, and you'll get this one right here. All the replacers are super high in memory. This one's only 29 megabytes, and what it does is it adds to the tracks of the game. So I've found that if I add this, after both of those, well, I can actually do this. Yep. So you want this last. Anyway, it will add to the Oblivion music. And I think I noticed that some of the original tracks were playing too, so I don't know if that's the case or not. But anyway, so now we are done with our sound effects for now. I used to use Immersive Sounds Compendium, which actually I might use it. I don't know. Oh wait, we're not done. Gonna add a couple of our favorites. Let's see. Morgan Freeman. We gotta add some Morgan Freeman over here as an Nernroot. Yeah. And then we're gonna add swearing mud crabs. We're gonna add swearing mud crabs. Alright, and then I think that's it for now. So I'm gonna back out and save the load order. I highly suggest something I forgot to mention at the beginning was you need to hard reset your Xbox after you clear your, preferably all your memory. Reserve space. I usually clear my reserve space. If you've been modding at all and don't really know what you're doing, clear that reserve space. Clear your local save data. Hold the button on the Xbox. Unplug it for 2 minutes, plug it back in, and you should be good if you haven't been modding. But I would, just as a safety precaution and a clean, you want to start with a clean slate, I would do that again. I would load the game up, download the creation content and stuff, and then clear your reserve space. Do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Unplug it for 2 minutes, then reload into Skyrim, download everything, and start modding. And so, let's see. So we are done with sound. Now comes the existing quest edits. Now, if you use reconciliation, actually, if you use finally fixing Skyrim, which I've had no issues with, to be honest with you. I look online and everybody's bashing finally fixing Skyrim in place of Recon. I've had luck with both. Finally fixing Skyrim quests contains all the quest expansions. I like to do that on my own, so what we're going to do now is, this is existing quest edits. So we're going to do Gilda-Green, Regrown. Okay. And I think that's actually, no, that one's not. The Civil War one is actually in another mod pack. We forgot to, why are those disabled? I have no idea why those are disabled, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure they were enabled, weren't they? I run into this issue where all your mods get rearranged, and dude, sometimes I really hate Bethesda, and sometimes I really... Todd Howard's an asshole. Anyway, let's engage those. Hopefully that it's not that issue. Back out. Save the load order, which I just did, and just disabled all that shit, so I don't understand that. Somebody correct me in the chat if it wasn't, if I didn't enable them or something, but I thought they were all enabled. Let's see. Alright, so we're existing quest edits. So we're gonna go with J Serpa. And I found it's better to find mods that contain multiple mods than to try to, you know, I could download specific quest expansions, alright? But I'm not like this, you know, Innocence Lost, just that quest, when I can just download the whole pack. Okay? So mind you, these all are... This isn't just one mod. This is multiple mods. 10, 15 mods right here in one pack. So make sure you grab the patch for that as well. Which is not that one. Oh, you get the miscellaneous mod bundle too. Which, let me look at that for a second. Animal Swim, use those blankets, lock chest has keys. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, that's the lines expansion. Quest expansions. So you'd use this if you use RS Children Overhaul. This is the USSCP patch. That goes right underneath the quest expansion. Okay, so we're done. This covers all the quest expansions that you can get, I believe. Destroy the Dark Brotherhood quest expansion, Infiltration, Hard to Develop, Innocent Loss, etc., etc., etc. College of Winterhold, which greatly improves that quest line quite a bit. So now let's see. All right. So now we're gonna back out and save again. The next category is purely craftable. So this is where you put like Cloaks of Skyrim, Ars Metallica. So we'll start with Ars Metallica. Ars Metallica, who's Arthmore. And then you're gonna go grab this patch. This patch makes it so that you can break down ingots from armor without the relevant smithing perk. Okay. And then let's see. One that I always like to include is Longclaw, I believe it's called. And that, I would get the crafting one. That gives you something to work towards. It's a really nice sword. Come on. And it comes in one-handed, two-handed, and some different styles. But you have to wait till you get the ebony perk. Which, like I said, gives you something to work towards. Let's see. So we got purely craftables. Let's see, what else do we want in our craftables? Should we do Cloaks of Skyrim this time? Or should we do Cloaks and Capes? Save a lot of memory if we do Cloaks and Capes. So I don't know. I tend to have more. I kind of like this one. So we're just going to use this one for now. Also, wearable lanterns. Don't forget it. Xbox One. Alright, let me think. I usually put my Cloaks and Capes last. I usually put Ars Metallica first because that's the crafting, kind of like the enabling of the crafting, the foundation for me. I don't know. I've seen some people put it last. You could also do extended jewelry crafting. Let's see. I guess that's good for now, so I'm gonna back out and save this. And then next, we got existing mechanical changes. And this is where I put character creation overhaul. I start with 360 walk and run conversion. You can put that, I believe, down by your XP32 skeleton, but I might as well just put it up here. Character creation overhaul. Some things to note about this section of the load order is people will put Imperious because it tells you to put Imperious here on some of the load orders that I've seen. Do not do that. Imperious will not work if you use a hair, superior hair, or anything that changes a race file. It won't work. So I always put Imperious, racial powers underneath my hair mod and my pack that overhauls my NPCs. Always at the bottom of that. Never have a problem with it anymore. If you're using racial body morphs, there is a specific mod that goes with Imperius. As far as any other one, you won't be able to get the powers to work with, like, say, greater power replacement. You won't be able to get the racial body morphs and that to work at the same time. Either or. It will only work for either or. Existing mechanical changes. Let's see. Alright, so this is existing mechanical changes, and then we're getting into level progression changes, which I always use. Slower skill leveling. With some of the mods that I use to augment the NPC spawns, and which we'll get into here in a second, I use slower skill leveling, which slows down the rate of skill increases from all the things. And as you see here, it's 2 times longer to increase enchanting, smithing, alchemy, and lockpicking, right? 3 times longer to increase heavy armor, light armor, one-handed, two-handed, block, archery. 4 times longer to increase sneak, illusion, destruction, yada yada. You get the point. Thing is that with the character creator, you can come right out of the beginning of the game and be able to craft dwarven armor, full steel armor, upgraded to exquisite right off the bat. This enables you to get 3 perk points at the beginning. So, and that being said, with all the other stuff that I have in the game, I've found that this is a way not to get... It's just more of a challenge, and it's better this way. So I would highly suggest that you use this. On a side note, there's a mod in Recon that enables you to get insight from reading books. I think it's reading books is good or something like that. And this will cancel that out. From what I've seen, basically you don't get any insight. But then again, I don't think that's an issue. And I believe that you might get perk points for quests in the finally fixing Skyrim. Let me look here. I have this, actually. You can go on the Nexus and type in finally fixing Skyrim, and then you scroll down, or on Bethesda.net, find finally fixing Skyrim, go down, and it will have a link, and it will tell you to, you can just highlight the link and go there, and then it will give you an entire list of every single mod that's included in. And you can do the same thing for reconciliation. I highly suggest before you start modding and adding your own mods and your custom load orders that you pay attention to what mods are already in, because I was adding multiple of the same mods, but I highly suggest either finally fixing Skyrim 1 or reconciliation, quality of life, and the relevant patches. You don't have to do the second one, but the first one is a must. Especially with reconciliation, because it does landscape and fixes and all kinds of good shit. Yeah, this one adds, you know, FPS menus, 60 FPS menus. It changes just... There's about... Let's see. I'll tell you exactly. There is 106 mods in the finally fixing Skyrim alone. There's about 150, I believe. So that's... 100, 125 in Recon, and then a total in finally fixing Skyrim 1, 2, and 3, there's like 350 mods. So it's quite a bit. So we're down to we're down to... Let me pull up my list here. Hold on a second. Loot level list, item attributes and effects changes. Okay, so we're getting into level progression changes, right? So this would be where you put like perk points, extra perk points. Now we're getting into perk overhauls. So one of my favorite mods, I don't know if you guys have heard about this one, but this is the best. This is everything all in one that you could ever want. Vulcanator. Okay, ESP. all in one package. It mixes Ordinator with Vokri, um, Mysticism, Thaumaturgy. Yeah, it has like everything, all the relevant patches. If you need to patch Mysticism, that's the one that you can use patches that are for Mysticism. And then I don't have to mess with, okay, I used to use Adamant and Mysticism together and all the relevant patches and all this crap. Don't need to do that. Just this one mod covers it all. And this retextures, Mysticism retextures your spells and all that, which actually I'm going to get into retexturing that in a second, though. Some of these new mods that just dropped. So we've got Perk Overalls, Magic Edition, Loot Level List. Now we're getting into the Loot Level List, okay? This is where I add a couple of my favorite mods. But one of the biggest things that you guys should add is this small mod. I type in Inez. And this mod right here. This will change your economy. When you look at something, it will be more immersive. It'll tell you things instead of a generic activate prompt. And then improved NPC encounter zones. Okay, logical strategic approach for encounter zones. This just revamps the whole entire game to make it harder and more immersive. Loot overhaul, complete rework of the level lists and containers for realism. Okay, so you're going for more realistic. You're not going to get a bunch of crap that's not relevant to your gameplay. Items that are more rare are going to be more rare, and people don't just leave around fucking, diamond encrusted shit or whatever it may be. And so you can read through this mod. I'll leave this up so after the stream is, let's see. And these are all the mods that it patches, okay? So these are the ones that are pretty much compatible with your playthrough. I've also found a couple more that are compatible, and I'm going to go into that right now because this wasn't enough for me. If you just use this, kind of boring and not enough loot for me. So I want you to type in Mr. B. Mr. B. Alright, so Mr. B has this one called Mr. B's Unique Loot and Treasures and Artifacts. And now what this does is it injects not only new coins, but the coins you can break down into Dwemer metal and corundum. So highly suggest this. Some things in here that I've never seen. Okay, hidden treasures throughout Skyrim. Changes to certain, like Armin's sword is, I think, changed. I don't want to read too much spoilers. For 35 megabytes, that sounds good to me. So, and then another one is Unique Loot and Barrel Sacks Edition. This is amazing. This gives you a reason to search those sacks and barrels. Adds a ton of immersion to your game. Now, depending on, we will add this next mod just to get a little more loot. It's called, let's see, we'll do 25 gems. I don't want to get too crazy with this. Okay. Let's see. Is it here? Oh, you can also do Julie gem extraction. See, I'm trying to balance the game to have a good playthrough, not everything be so unbalanced. I used to use flawless gem crafting, right? The problem with that is I use Divine Cities, and it comes with a gem merchant who gives you $500 a piece for each amethyst. And if you're using alternate perspective at the beginning, they give you 5 of each gem in the game. So you're right off the bat, you get around 10,000 bucks. And then if you add this, you basically can, she accepts amethysts and a couple other emeralds and one other gem, I think, right? So you can find plenty of those anyway, okay? So you don't want to walk around with hundreds of thousands of dollars and not have anything to spend. It gets boring. you want to continuously be making money and give a reason to make money. I mean, I guess to each his own. Some people would like it that way. So this adds 25 gems to the game into containers and smithing locations. I mean, smithing locations. Yeah. Pickaxe when you the veins of ore. So these will pop up in stores and all that stuff. So this is just ridiculous. Like, why would you add 200 fucking gems to your game? That's insane. Like, that's too much. Ooh, this looks interesting. This would go... I think I might download this, actually. I haven't used this. It could cause some issues, maybe, but... Soul gems will now glow in full. We won't fuck with that yet. I think I might bookmark that, though. Alright, so that... I wonder if you can replace that. Let's see, what is this? That looks exactly the same, man. I don't understand. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, I'm gonna just not do that right now. So when you're building your load order, make sure that you're, you know, I don't know, I want to put everything in my game, but you start doing that and you're gonna have a ton of problems. So this mod, let's get back to what we're talking about. This mod right here says to put in leveled lists, okay? There are separate of each one of these, but this is the AIO version, and that's what it says, to put it in level list. I have it first, and then I have Meister B, so all these overwrite that mod, so they're guaranteed to show up in your game, and they don't seem to interact badly with... It seems to work just fine. So that's what we got so far. We are starting with... and as soon as I get the NPC body meshes and hair down, we'll give it a test and see what it looks like. Alright, so anyway, we've got our crafting, we got our quest expansions, we've got our class creation, our leveling, our perk trees, the game encounters. Another thing that I would probably put here is extended encounters. Extended encounters. Extended encounters. Okay, a mod called Extended Encounters. I'm thinking to myself, you know, wondering whether this is the right place to put it. I mean, considering, you know, improved NPC encounter zones. I don't know whether that would react badly. I don't think I've had an issue, but... So, Extended Encounters is part of, I don't know. It might be a part of... You know what? I'm going to just... what I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark this. I think it might be part of the Finally Fixing Skyrim. So, I'm going to just leave that. And then, we've got our loot. And, back out save. And now we are into item attributes and effect changes. So talk about a little mod that I found. I was using a mod called Animal Creature Overhaul, and what it did was it would add more loot to enemy creatures, etc., stuff like that. But it also added food and food regen, but it was way too powerful. Like, all you had to do was eat a freaking apple, and it would regen your health. It was just way too much, and it kind of broke the game. So I stopped using it, and now I'm using no more instant potions. No more instant potions. And you have to type that in, because sometimes when you type something in, you have to like specifically. So right here. And this, it's subtle. There are better foods than others, but it takes between 4 and 10 seconds to activate. So every potion that you drink will regen your health instead of instantly give you the boost, right? So change items and attributes. Let's see. We are at... Next is... I don't think there's anything else that I'm going to change the attributes of. So, we are into... Right now, we're getting into existing NPC spawn edits. And this is where I put class... Okay, so we all know the skeletons are a joke. And honestly, especially with the slower skill leveling, so this is what I've done to compensate for the slower skill leveling. You just don't want to be level 25 and, you know, one-shotting everything in the game, and it just gets to the point where it's boring. So this is a awesome mod. These skeletons will kick your fucking ass now. Alright? They are no joke. Depending on what you get for the level. So the reason I'm putting this in existing enemy NPC spawns is because it's changing their level, giving them weapons, changing what they do when they spawn. So I figured that this is probably the most rational thing, and I've never had an issue with this being here. There's another mod called Bandit Overhaul, and I used to put it up here, because it gives, you know, they put on armor, they put on a full set of armor, they have perks, perks for mysticism, and you can put it here, but I like to I put it in my combat section now, combat AI section. Even though it doesn't contain AI, I kind of just put it in that pack together. So now that we're done with existing NPC, so here's where you can also, if you want to make the wolves tougher, you could download TLS's Wolf Overhaul. However, you can't use that and a retexture. It won't work, one or the other. And it doesn't retexture the wolves. So it's either you... Oh. And let's talk about the crashes. Let's talk about that. Alright, so the crashes. It's not you. It's not your mod list. It's Bethesda and their shitty programming. I'm really just getting sick and tired of it. That is actually going to happen to you the more mods you put in your load order. So expect when you start getting, you know, up here with mods, it's going to crash faster and faster and faster and faster. Okay, so by the time you're done with, you know, 150 mods, it's literally going to fucking crash every 10 minutes. And I'm really just, I can't. It's hard enough modding and testing as it is. Then I gotta deal with their shitty programming and their inability to fix this shit. And then when you look it up, it'll say, oh, reset your Xbox, blah, blah. It's not your Xbox. It's not you. It's their shitty programming. I have my sons both mod, and it did the same exact thing to them as it's doing to me. So just expect that to happen, and the stream to go out every I don't know, it's just gonna get quicker and quicker. So, where are we? And okay, so now we getting into spawn retextures. Okay, and this is where you determine what you want your dragons, and if you want bears to look different, etc., etc. So we're going to start with dragons, and I'm going to use the HOTD skeleton edit. Okay, we're just going to use the regular one. Okay, this changes the size of the wings and the skeleton of every dragon in the game. And then I'm going to use the Game of Thrones vanilla dragons. Okay, so this changes all the vanilla dragons in the game. Okay, 8 dragons: Dragon Elder, Ancient, Blood, Frost, Revered, Legendary. It does not change the named dragons. Okay, and I could go 2K, but the memory difference. Oh, actually, wait a minute here. You know what? I'm gonna delete that. I don't know. Do I want to do that? I mean, you're talking like 40 megabytes. I am gonna do that, and hopefully, I just got that memory back. That's another thing. So, talk about Ghost Space here for a second. Sometimes when you download a mod, and you don't properly, I don't know if it's about properly deleting, because I've had both ways where I didn't properly delete it, and it still gave me back my memory. I've had mod lists that when I delete all my mods to start over, I get back all my memory. And it's something to do with, I don't know, proper load order. I don't really know because I can't really find out some concrete information on that. So, but sometimes you'll go to delete a mod and you won't get any memory back whatsoever. And that memory will stay in your reserve space. And sometimes it will cause problems with everything. With your load order, it's like it's there, but it's not. And when you start a new game, it's looking for that, right? So that's a pain in the fucking ass. So sometimes I'll be 3/4 of the way through a load order, decide to delete something, and I won't get the fucking memory back. And yeah, it's frustrating. All right, so we've got our skeletons for our dragons, we got our dragons covered, but we don't have our named dragons covered. Okay, this does not cover Alduin. So we're gonna go to Conquest Trio. And this is 63 megabytes, right? But this takes care of Balorn. I mean, this changes Alduin to Balerion from Game of Thrones, and Parthenax and Dragon Guard's Legendary Dragon. Okay, so now you've got Alduin, 3 of the named dragons covered. Okay, and the rest of them. Actually, I think that vanilla dragon does get covered. The first dragon at the Watchtower is actually covered by this HOTD. So we're good. Yep. All right. So we're done with dragon textures. And a mod that I forgot. Actually, we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna actually put this above general meshing textures. General meshing textures. Thinking here. Give me a second. I'm thinking about some of my. Okay, so we're gonna do VFX edit. This is something that this is a texture overhaul for all your spells. Okay, this actually just dropped on console a little while ago. All right, this retextures all your spells. All the conjuration portals, stuff like that. Right? So I'm actually gonna put this here, right? And then strange runes is another one that I have recently found out from PC. And the only ones that you can get is the strange runes light, I think. And this really cool effect. If you're in first person, it's a little, I don't know, intrusive, but I do most of my stuff, and I haven't been playing much Magic. But this also does it for the NPCs. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this after this, okay? So this is going to overwrite this. So whatever this does is great, right? So mysticism also retextures these spells. What's going to happen is this is going to retexture the mysticism spells. And this is going to override, just in case it retextures anything, is going to override this so that it overwrites the files that this doesn't, right? Which I don't think it does. I think it just retextures the hand stuff, right? And then, don't know if I want to use that mod. Let's see. Let me look at HD Fire. So, talking about overwriting certain things. Some mods don't go well together. And even if you... Well, this is one that I actually want. Yeah, so this just dropped. Problem with mods that just drop is this... so the mod creator is Clofus, which is, from what I've seen, a renowned modder, so it's good. These are sound loops for fires, okay? So this would actually go in your sounds. Talk about anything that touches the same audio files. Fireplace comes from murmurs and meads, so don't be alarmed if one is overriding the other. Should be 100% compatible with magic sound replacers. So we're gonna try this out. And I'm pretty sure that this is... So this is an ESL, so it's a light plugin. Thinking about where to put this exactly. So, you know, the template's just a template. So sometimes, even though it should go somewhere, I'm actually going to put it... I'm actually going to put it here. Along with all the effects, fire, texture. I mean, I feel like it should go here. This changes the fire sound. And then, one other one that I love, Embers HD. You cannot use this mod with realistic fireplaces for some reason. If anybody knows any different and knows how to make that work, please let me know. Use the ESEP version. Now, this says load before any fire mods. But, here we go again. I've had more luck with not doing that. So, I'm going to put that there for now. I'm not going to overwrite the flames yet. It might look okay with this VFX edit. Or I might do the smoking torches. Not sure yet. We'll figure that out soon. Alright, so that's about it for that part. We've got our dragons, and now we're going to get into other animals and creatures. Let's see. So I'd rather use packs of mods to all-in-one everything, right? I don't want to sit here and put 30 mods for a bunch of different things when I could just use one mod to do it. The problem is there's only a few mods that I've found that retexture everything. And let me just double check. Let's see. Animal. Less is more sometimes. So, Fluffy Works is great, except for I can't seem to get the Fluffy Works to work with horses sometimes, and even the vanilla horses, I have issues with. So, it looks really great. That's 160. I mean, this looks really great. Then you don't have to retexture the wolves, right? Or, you know, there's no saber cat shit that I can find either. The horses, the bears, don't even have to mess with the bears. We're gonna try this. I'm gonna do the quality. I don't know, the quality of 1K seems to be good enough. You know, I have a 1440 monitor that I'm using. Most of the textures I use are 1K, which is 1080. So you should definitely focus especially if you're on Series S. There's nothing wrong with throwing some like 2K armor textures. Leave the 4K alone. It's just a waste, honestly. And it just takes up 5 times the memory that normal stuff does, right? Alright, so that's going to cover pretty much all the animals. Let's see. So, oh wait. Okay, so we're getting into animal textures. So now, things that aren't covered would be like draugrs, right? So with the space we're saving by not using divergence, man, come on, dude. Let's type in cannibal. So the cannibal draugrs are quite a lot more memory than the regular ones, which I can't figure out why. So let's look at this 2K version, 112, right? And how close are you gonna look at these guys? 70 megabytes versus 112. These are pretty scary looking. I mean, how noticeable is that gonna be, right? Look at 4K, 236. That shit must look nutty. But since we're trying to go, you know, I mean, this is just gonna look good, man. Anyway, do I want? Yeah, we'll do it. Fuck it. I have never done the 2K cannibals. And make sure you grab the. You know, I don't know about the glowing eyes either. Like, I like them, but it takes away from their face. So, this is the patch for the glowing eyes. If you want the glowing eyes to work, you gotta use the patch. If you don't, I think you can not use the patch. So, I'm actually going to unpatch that, right? I want to see what it looks like without them. And then what else do we got? Let's try. We'll type in divergence vanilla. Okay, if you type in divergent vanilla, for some reason, most of the divergent stuff pops up for you. So let's look. All right, so Giants. Giants 4K 66, 2K. Let's just download the 2K Giants. Okay. I'm going to disable that for now. I'm also going to download the 2K Amin whatever. I know I'm not saying that right. Alright, so this retextures all the dwarven stuff. Okay. And then go back, Creation Club. We're gonna actually download that dwarven metal too. Alright, so speaking of miscellanea, probably gonna download the myriad of miscellanea. Now, here's where choices come up. You can either do the performance version, which is quite a bit less, and then you can individually overwrite the stuff that you don't want. Okay? Which I find that this is just a good base to retexture the clutter items and things of that nature. Okay? It covers barrels, bags, boxes, all that stuff. Now, if you're using book covers of Skyrim, these won't work. You won't be able to recover the tomes. And I really like Alright, so what else was I saying? I might as well download that Dwarven Metal because that's coming up soon. The 2K is 127. You don't need that. Download this. Use the cube map to make it shinier. Which I won't actually wait. I won't be doing that for a while. So alright, so we got our dragons. We got our animals. We've got Draugrs covered. And actually, I will do the glow knives. We got giants. Okay. And one other thing that I like to do, I really like to find wolves. They look really good. I don't, however, know. I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Because of the fluffy works covers that, and that's going to cause a problem. Anything else? Also, Divergence miscellaneous stuff covers all this stuff, right? So I don't need to download any of that. And what? Death Stranding Part 10? I haven't even got to part 4 yet. So, what do we got here? So this, I'm not going to activate right yet because I do that after. And so now we're getting into retextures of miscellaneous items. So I'm actually going to put this up top, and anything that I want to overwrite, I'm going to put below it, okay? So now we're going to get into city architecture overhauls and things of that nature. And I'm going to go to my get-go. It's a package of quite a few mods. But once I get covered with that, I'm going to download alternate perspective, and I'm going to show you guys, and then we're going to separate this into another stream. I will be exporting this to YouTube as well. Hopefully it can help some people flesh out their game. Let me look at my library for a second. So I do not use an SMIM. Sometimes I do, but I haven't needed to. Okay, so I'm going to download the book covers of Skyrim just because I like it. And let me see what else I'm getting here. Yeah, I'm going to need to download some of this individually, but I found some mods that change all the oh, forgot the Falmers. Gotta put the Falmers in there. That's scary looking. Yep, grindstones. Okay. I'm just looking. I think I'll use RDO. Oh, there we go. This is amazing. That looks great, bro. so we are going to use for city. So remember what I said about divine cities, okay? Divine cities. We are going to put divine cities where it tells you not to put it. Fuck it. I guess I'll try. I haven't extensively tested this one yet, but I'm going to do villages too. I usually run out of room for this. So let me reorganize these to where they need to go. Oh, one more. Nordic longhouses. Okay, Nordic longhouses is nice. I think the one with equal. Oh, there we go. Crash. Crash. Oh my god, I fucking hate Bethesda, man. Not to mention, it scared the shit out of me. Like, dude. See, you know, fuck you, Todd. Todd the Rod, you piece of shit. So sick and tired of it, man. Alright, so Falmer overhaul goes with the creatures overhauls, okay? And then we get into Divergence. Then books, right? Then we would get Grindstone. Actually, I could do Grindstones after. Right, Divine Cities. You know what? Book covers. We're gonna hold off on the Myriad actually until after our city textures. Okay. Villages. I guess we're just gonna put all three of these together. And then yeah, so we want to kind of categorize this stuff like we're supposed to. And I have found that you can put this in order, right? So say I'm gonna put, what the hell's going on? I'm gonna put this here, okay? And then I'm gonna put this here actually because this is gonna, Writing's gonna go above Dormer Metal. And this is gonna go below because this covers these, the grindstones. So I'm gonna overwrite the texture with that. And I'm just gonna put that below here. Fluffy can kind of go there because that covers rugs and stuff, so I want to overwrite that. So that will lock it in place. See, if I leave it unchecked, it will just keep moving. And it'll be fucking super annoying. And as long as you start a new game... Oh. Oh, man. Come on. Seriously right now? Going to... Anyway. Alright, so what do we got here? Alright, so writing. AIO. Can't go wrong with this. 512 at half a gig. Okay? Covers farmhouses, Riften, it covers the Imperial forts. Dude, it's covers a lot. It does not, however, cover undergrounds and all that stuff. That's what we're gonna... that's what we're going to work on next stream is the undergrounds, the landscape, the NPCs. I'm not going to do that right now because the stream's getting a bit long and I want to keep it short so I can export it, and you know, people are going to really stick around for for this long. Alright, so now what we're going to do is take that writing and we're going to put it below our divine city. So what this is going to do, this is going to be put into the game, and then this is going to overwrite all these textures and do what it does, okay? And I found, even though you could put this lower and this would still overwrite, I found that it causes problems. Alright? So the other one that we're going to do is Dwemer Ruins Underground. Okay, so we're going to do one more because this is the one I use with the Dwarven Metal retexture. And it's Dwemer Ruins, right? And it doesn't really matter, I don't think, which order you put it in. I usually like to do, you know, whatever location I'm going to go to first. I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference on which order you put this in, as far as like city overhauls and Nordic ruins and, you know, all that. So, let's see. Where was I going with that? So this is going to go under... Yep, see, you have to back out and save it in order for it to stay in position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. That covers all the towns. This is going to cover the Dwarven Ruins, and this is going to cover all... retexture all the shit in the Dwarven Ruins, right? Oh, and then cube maps. Hopefully this doesn't interact badly with another cube map and another thing, so... you can actually... There's a cube... This one. Look at this. 100 megabytes. Fuck all that. This is kilobytes. Now I'm gonna have to reorder the shit again. Pain in the ass. Anyway, so redo this. Underground. Dwarven Metal. And cube maps. Okay? The cube maps retextures the shine. Makes it shinier. So hopefully we'll have a shinier Skyrim. Now I'm going to back out and save it. And then I'm going to download alternate perspective. And we are going to test and see what this looks like so far. And then I'm going to end the stream and I'll start up another one. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet. What time is that? 6:40? Oh, it's early. So maybe I'll finish this tonight. But I don't want to do it in one stream. It's probably going to crash again, just to let you know. There'll be a pause in the stream. The more mods I get, the more it crashes. So we're going to do alternate perspective. Alternate. Alright, so alternate start is a thing of the past. I don't ever use that anymore. This is the new one. This is an amazing mod. Not only does it give you a boost in the start, it rebuilds Helgen to a pre-attack state. So you get to start in Helgen, and it's a living, breathing town. Fucking amazing. So here we go. So now, as long as you keep these on the bottom, right? As you're building your load order and putting it in here, you should be fine. You can continue to put mods above it. Just make sure you do it right. And then the only other thing that I'm going to tell you is that just so everybody who watches this gets an idea, the more I found there's a glitch that happens, and again, give me a second. You have to reset the game when adding mods. Preferably hard reset when you start a new game, but I can get away with this, okay? So, or it will crash. Some of the mods won't work. So always always just reset your game. When you first start a new game and you're done modding, always hard reset. Unplug it for 2 minutes, okay? hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And, oh, no, I didn't need to do that shit. Oh, another thing we need to talk about. You're going to go here. You're going to disable, okay, this. You do not want this on, okay? And also, I got to make sure that everything, sometimes it doesn't all download, okay? So we're going to start a new game, all right? And this is where we end up, right? We have, now mind you, we have no lighting, no new NPCs. Man, do they look horrible, huh? We also don't have Imperius, okay? So all we're doing is testing right now. And I'm going to just call this test 1. And as you can see, here's one of the retextures on the dragons. I don't know why that's so blank, though. Kind of doesn't look right. And then everything runs in the background, okay? You can see the text, the interface, okay? Go to your settings. Disable every single autosave. You do not want any autosaves in the game. It will cause your game to crash. They're unstable. Again, with the Bethesda bullshit. I found out that all the autosaves are unstable. So, and then redo all your settings. Okay. I like subtitles. Display a little bit brighter. I also don't have a lighting mod in yet. And then my controls. Best set of controls is this. And then back out. And look at those rugs. Look at that shit. Shit looks real. Alright, so we didn't do any of the furniture yet. But this is what it gives you. Here, notice the interface. Alright, so you get a bunch of this, $5,000, okay? You get choice of armor and weapons, all basic shit. Alright, first thing you do is you go into your settings, and once we get the dodge mod and all that, you're going to set that up first, right? So the first settings, other than that, are going to be SWF. And if you don't have a camera mod, you go to settings. Do not fuck around with any other settings in this, okay? Go to default, go to 85. Don't go any higher than that. Just leave it at 85, okay? In order to get that engage, you have to hit the menu button. Now you get a little bit more FOV out of that, okay? Save it. Go back into your settings, choose your destiny. Okay? Page 2. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Okay, Traveler gives you +5 and everything. But if you're going to go like light armor, you should probably do that. Or whatever you want. I do Steed Stone. I can wear heavy armor without any penalty, without it weighing anything. So, and then I go combat. Choose an attribute of your choice. Depending on what I'm doing, but health, okay, heavy armor, and then major skill. This is the way I like to play, is smithing, so I'm basically a combat smith, right? Two-handed in smithing are my 2 major skills. Minor skills: speech, sneak, conjuration. Boom. And then you get a choice of class advantage. I don't exactly know what those are. I did it once and I got like a buff to my smithing, but I'm good with that. I want 3 perk points. First things first, here you're getting a little preview on the perk list, but as you can see, there's plenty, and it's completely redesigned. So what I do normally, because you can actually come out of Helgen with some really nice armor, is I go, okay, and then I go again. So I could go up here and create Dwarven, but you're not gonna be able to have access to Dwarven metal and enough to do anything with right now. So I just put the first two into that. You don't really need the two-handed right this second. I go into speech, get the price buff for selling all those gems. Then I equip what I'm going to equip. Okay. And this is default combat. We're going to augment that in a later video. Okay. Okay, so if you talk to the dragon,
tell me
he has a bunch of options. You can own... Who are you? If you own a property, he will take the $5,000 that was in that thing. Okay? However, the price of that is now $15,000 in the game, so you might want to go that route. I always like to go walk out the door. When you walk out the door, this is Helgen. Really neat. Now notice the music is new tavern music. All of this stuff will be redone. But for now we've got the Divergence barrels, okay? We've got, these are animated for some reason. I'm not quite sure what mod that is. I think it might be Inez. You can see all the things. These are redone. We've got embers in the fireplaces. Fire looks pretty good. Now we're gonna pull out a spell. Okay, check this out. Alright. So these are new spell runes. You've got flames. Sticks, and it creates light. Alright, so that being said, I have a tip. So when you first get here, sleep for 24 hours, okay? And then that'll get everything moving along in the game world. We're just gonna go check out some textures, give you an idea what it looks like before, and go to... This is default weather. Now you can see the retextures from Brighton already. They look fucking phenomenal. The farmhouses are retextured. The doors are retextured. Okay. We're going to take away all these plants and everything eventually. Okay. The banners are retextured. Pretty much everything. The entire landscape is going to be... Oh, look, he's got a cape on. Okay, cloaks and capes. Now, plants need to be redone. Oh, there's some new sound effects. Alright, so what else were we looking at? We're looking at city overhauls, right? Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to run there. Stable. That organic fuel will add songs and new battle music to the game. It's quite the refresher. I'm gonna have to get off here in a few and eat dinner once I show you what the textures look like. And I think that Recon might have extended encounters on. I'm not quite sure. We're gonna take a shortcut. I've had enough, man. Can no longer take it. Alright. Now what did we do? Note the wolf textures here. Look at how fuzzy. Yeah, I like to add these. Oh wait, you know what? I think I can add that maybe. It might work with Fluffy. Look at that. Looks so much better, dude. All right. Guess it doesn't do nothing for rabbits. I don't know. We're gonna retexture all that water, all the plants, ground, everything. Look at that popping. It's nice to see some pop. I mean, it's not really nice to see some popping, but you know, when you start modding, you'll start noticing all the shit you didn't notice before. Actually, you'll start noticing how, yeah, a lot more of the flaws. We got the lantern. See that? Oh. This should be fluffied. Yep. You gotta get really close to see it. So,
I've been looking for you.
That looks nice.
Got something.
This guy's
Looks
a
like
rapist. He won't leave me alone. Leave my butt alone, dude. I don't like you touching me. What? Alright, so as you can see, the textures are overhauled. Okay, this is Divine Cities too, so it changes the layout. But I have little to no issues. There is a floating barrel over here, maybe. Yep. This barrel. Oh, no, it's not this time. Yes! I don't know, did something right. That cart's not usually there. Notice are the embers working? Yep. I see the fire effects coming up. Okay. Let's see, are chickens overdone? Oh, we can add a chicken replacer. And, so yeah.
Well, one of us has to do something.
So there's about...
No adventures,
oh, look at
no
those rugs.
theatrics,
The rugs
no
are freaking
thief
crazy. 2K
well, what
rugs.
are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
Look at that.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
Man, you look old as fuck, bud. Anyway, the ground, look at the stairs, the walls, doors, everything is redone. We're gonna redo these countertops, these dressers, everything. Everything will be redone. Except for this, I can't find a mod for these. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll be coming up with part 2 here shortly, either tonight or tomorrow. I really hope this helps. Anybody who has any information on my Twitch, please check out my YouTube. I will also be posting this video on YouTube. And I also do music, and I have a video of a song I wrote. It'd be neat for you guys to check that out. And yeah, it's been real. I hope this helps. Any questions you have, hit me up at, you know, my gamer tag is posted on my description on Twitch, alright? So I'm on Xbox. Hit me up with any messages, friend requests, you know, any critique for anybody that knows about modding. That would be great. See you soon.